Welcome to the stream. Do you hear me, guys? Let's go. I'm hearing myself. There. I was not muted in Twitch. Hi, guys. Welcome to the stream. Long time no stream. I'm live now in Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook. First time yan. Anyone watching from LinkedIn? Or from Facebook? Paramdam naman kayo dyan. They will do the hello world for Rust. Tingnan natin yung Rust. Let's see. What does Rust? What is Rust all about? Hello, guys from LinkedIn. We have 4 viewers from LinkedIn. Wow. Maybe I should just stream to LinkedIn. You can follow me in my Twitch. That's the main the main platform I stream coding, right? Welcome. It's my first time to stream in LinkedIn. Welcome to the stream. All right. How's your Sunday, guys? We're gonna take a look at Rust today. What is Rust? Rust language. This guide. We're gonna take a look at this guide today. My screen. You can see my screen. Yeah, there. We're gonna take a look at this guide today. Anyone using Rust here? I'm using Golang. See, I have my shirt. The LinkedIn stream is a bit delayed, so yeah. I don't think I can reply also to LinkedIn here in the comments. So I'll just take a look at my StreamYard and LinkedIn, like side by side. Right? Maybe I should do that now, so I can see your comments also. I don't want to miss any comment, right, from you guys. If you haven't followed me in Twitch, you can follow me in Twitch. You can watch games and at the same time watch me, right, when I go live. All right, we should start, right? Hi from those in LinkedIn. Just drop a comment if you'd like to interact with me right today. All right, so today I'll try to look at Rust, right? I haven't. Let me turn off my music, right, so you don't get distracted. Yeah, there. All right. So let's take a look at Rust today. I haven't tried Rust. I tried it just the hello world, but I kind of like look at the documentation, and for me it's a bit daunting, right? I think it's difficult to read, but let's give it a try again. Maybe we could understand it more now. Yeah, but Linux, right? He mentioned that Linux, right? Linux to use Rust in the kernel. This was news like few days ago, right? Yeah, this guy. Oh, this was not the latest one. Now this is the not this. There's some news, recent news, right? Oh, this one, new one. Yeah, so this was recent news, right? September 16. That they're gonna try to use Rust in the kernel. So yeah, there's some based on this news, right? There's a preliminary patch already has been submitted, right, by the working group. So it means that they're gonna try out the language, right, in the kernel. So they say it can replace C, right? I'm not really familiar with C, but yeah. Is it faster than C? I don't know. Maybe we check, right? Is Rust faster than C? Oh, okay. So what they're saying here, Rust is actually comparable to C++. Not really C, right? C might be very fast, right? So this is one important thing in programming. This thing, right? It's a very interesting feature of Rust, right? It says there's no null. Yeah, I agree because in our Golang application now, if you have null, unless you recover it, right, it's gonna crash your application, right? So, but in Golang, you can actually recover your application so it doesn't crash, right? So I haven't really read a lot about Rust. So if you have any ideas about Rust, maybe Rust, you can comment here and can actually teach me, right? Today our objective is to look at Rust and try Hello World, right? And maybe look at the language, right, in itself. Uh, I bookmark a book in O'Reilly Learning, right? So we can actually go through like the basics of Rust today, right? So I know 2.5 hours is not enough, but we'll try to make the most of it, right? But for sure, we're gonna have that Hello World thing today. All right. So where do you use Rust? I don't know where. How do you use Rust? Where is Rust used? Okay, let's take a look at this list. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna do some coding later. Just do some background or just stick with me, right? During the stream. Oh, this guy is probably using Rust for their APIs, right? Oh, this one interesting, right? Streaming service, right? They use it for streaming. Yeah. I also heard that UI pipelines, right? Front end pipelines, they use Rust. Front end build. I heard this from my friend. So I can't remember the build tool that is using Rust. Yeah, but they say Rust is you know popular in the front end tools also building. Yeah. Where is that? Anyway, I'll try to ask my friend. I don't I don't remember what language is it. Ah, what tool is it? Rust tool. Yeah. Oh, there's some WebAssembly, examples here using Rust. But mainly, no, I am interested in creating APIs for it, right? Because that's the main work I do right now. I use Golang, right? But yeah, maybe Rust can be an alternative, right? I don't think we will replace our existing applications at work, but maybe just take a look at Rust maybe in the next few years, right? It's gonna be really very popular, right? Yeah. So I've logged into my O'Reilly account, right? So I saw a few books about Rust right here. I'll just make my screen bigger for you guys. Yeah. So I'm gonna zoom in a bit so you can see. I've seen some books in O'Reilly, right? So I subscribed to O'Reilly for you guys. I think I paid $35 per month for the year, so I can show you guys some material, content here in O'Reilly. I know it's not the entire book, but maybe just take a peek of how O'Reilly is, right? And maybe I can be an affiliate and give the link to you guys, so you can actually see, right? All right. I saw a few books, right? So programming Rust. So this is the one I saw earlier. Then you have Rust in Action. So not much, right? Oh yeah, there's a few already, right? Hands-on Rust, the Rust programming language, right? But this one is an old book, I think, 2018. Oh, 2019, sorry. So this is the 2018 version of Rust, so it's a bit outdated, but maybe like Golang, right? You still have like backward compatibility. I'm not sure if they're very strict with that, but Golang community, right? They're pretty sure that the old Golang code will actually work with the new version. So they're backward compatible. Yeah. So let's take a look at the O'Reilly one, right? So yeah, let's see. Let's see what trust is, right? Yeah. So let's just try to open the table of contents here. So you see here, right? In certain contexts, for example, the context Rust is targeting being 10 times or even 2 times faster than the competition. It's a make or break thing. So it means that it's fast, right? I think that's why it's also popular, right? A slow language will not be very popular. Interesting. What does Rust? So they say Rust makes collaborations easier, right? What the hell does that mean, right? System programmers can have nice things. Oh, support for code sharing and reuse. So they have a build package manager and build tool, right? I think this is like Maven for Java, right? And I think Go what's this? Uh, the one for Golang, right? The package manager for Golang. So they have Cargo for their build tool, right? So I think it combines as a build tool and a package manager. Like it's like your npm, is it? Is it like npm, right? For Node, right? I don't have the follow thing here. If you're following me in Twitch, just ping me, right? Send me a message, right? So I can actually acknowledge your follow or your like in Facebook. Yeah. All right. So it has cargo, right? Yeah, we're gonna see it later, right? I'm gonna show cargo, right? It's just yeah, zero. So it's like npm, and if you're using Ruby, right? It's like the Ruby gems, you know. If you do gem install, right? Install a package. For Python, I think it's pip, right? pip, right? Pip install, pip upgrade, like that. So they're very popular Rust libraries, providing everything from off-the-shelf serialization to HTTP clients. Oh, they can do graphics also. Very interesting, right? So it's really like C++, right? Can you make a game out of it? That's a question. Hi, thank you for the like in LinkedIn. So going further, the language itself is also designed to support collaboration. Rust traits and generics let you create libraries and flexible interfaces so that they can serve in many different contexts. And Rust Standard Library provides a core set of fundamental types that establish shared conventions for common cases. Okay, so let's take a look at their website, right? So these are the main highlights, right? They mention in the website. So it means that they kind of like compare with the other languages, right? And they think these are the main highlights of what Rust is, right, compared to the other languages, right? So performance, right? So there's no garbage collector. Interesting. How does it perform, right? Is it uh, straight to the CPU? Is it like that? Because Golang has garbage collector actually. I think even if does yeah. So it can power critical services, run on embedded devices, and easily integrate with other languages. So this one is very important, right? If you're working with other languages, maybe we can take a look at later, no, in the future, how we can integrate Golang and Rust. Maybe you can mix the two, right, in one stack, right? You know, one application. So they have a rich type system, an ownership model guarantee memory safety and thread safety. I think this is what they take from C++, right? The strength of the, you know, the resources, right? You know, the safety, right, when you're coding. Also well on runtime, right? Rust has great documentation, a friendly compiler with useful error messages, and top-notching tooling, an integrated package manager and build tool. So this is one is the cargo one, right? The one we saw earlier. Smart multi-editor support with auto-completion. Okay. Build it in Rust. All right. So Rust is very new, no? 2018 only, is it? When was Rust released? Oh, it was not 2018. So first appeared on 2010. What are they saying here, 2018? Have you tried Rust, guys? I haven't really used it, no. I normally use Golang in my work. This year we'll deliver Rust 2018, marking the first major new edition of Rust since one. Oh, so they kind of like look at it and improve the language, right? And released a new version in 2018. So that one was probably the most popular version. That's why Rust was actually used by, you know, developers, right? As an alternative to, I don't know, C++, right? So you can create a CLI tool, meaning, right, you if you have a the tool that you use with a terminal, right, you can use Rust to build it, right? But I think right now Golang is the popular one for DevOps, right? Like SRE guys, uh, they use Golang to use this to do CLIs, right? Command line interfaces. Then WebAssembly. Use Rust to supercharge your JavaScript, one module at a time. Publish to NPM bundle with Webpack and you're off to the races. Wow, this is interesting. Golang has this also. Yeah, but I haven't used it. I'm not sure how to use it also, this WebAssembly. I think this networking part, right, is the one that makes sense, right? Maybe if you have like a very high latency, you know, if you want low latency for your application, like streaming, right, you might want to consider Rust also, right? I don't know how. I think they use Golang also, right? I found some people who are hiring, right? I mean recruiters, right? Working for a streaming services company, right? They also use Golang, so I don't know if they're shifting already to Rust, right? We never know. Then embedded, no, embedded devices, right? So meaning these are the devices that have very low memory, very low storage, right? So it's very interesting that they can use Rust with that also. Rust in production. My biggest compliment is Rust to Rust is that it's boring, and this is an amazing compliment. So maybe meaning, right, that it's easy to use, right, and there's not much uh, issues in your code. I think maybe that's what he means. Because when your language is interesting, right, there's a lot of issues. Anyone using Java here or other related technologies, right, used in the enterprise? .NET. Yeah. So Yelp is also using Rust. So this one, no, infrastructure engineer, right? These are the guys that actually does the SRE, for example, right? They design and implement the infrastructure that the application developers need, right? To deliver applications, right? For business, for example. Okay, read the book. There's a book. Oh, this is their online book, right? Yeah. All right. That's cool. Maybe we just take a look at this guy. I think before we go into this, right, maybe we can do like a hello world thing, right, with Rust. So I think the first thing we need to do is install it, right? So I'm using a Mac, right? So they say just need to copy this guy, right? I did this earlier already, right? But I think I can just do it again. Let me bring up my terminal. You see my terminal. Yeah, I'm gonna try to just execute it again for you guys. So to install Rust, right, you just need to copy this command, right? Yeah. When you just press 1, for example, right, continue with installation. Yeah, so basically just installed it again, right? Yeah. So it just overwrite my previous installation. Sorry guys, I think it's a bit small, right? Can you even see my screen? Hold on. Let me fix my. Yeah, I don't think you can see the lower part, right? Let me change my size, font size. Maybe 36. Go bigger, is it? You need to create a new one. File new, terminal new. Pro, is it? There. Better, ah. So I'll paste it again, right? For everyone's. Yeah, I'll just paste that thing. So it's gonna ask you, do you want to proceed with the installation or you want to customize or cancel the installation? So let's just try to proceed. It will just say, tell you that Rust is installed now. Great. Then it will actually have your cargo installed right in this directory. So your cargo binary, right, will be in this directory. Right? So how do we now see if it's already installed, right? So there's an interesting way to create a new. Yeah, so this is the command to create a new cargo package, right? So this means this is a new project, for example, right? You want to create a new Rust project, right? Can use this command, right? So I'll try to do that. So let's create a new project here. So let's call it Hello Rust, right? I think I have Hello Rust here already. Let me delete this guy. Right. So let's create a new project. Cargo new Hello Rust. Did that work? Yeah, so now you have Hello Rust here, right? In this directory. Right? So Hello Rust. So you'll see here that it created a cargo that what is TOML? I think this is like YAML, right? Comes obvious minimal language. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at that guy. I think this is like your uh, Go modules, is it? Go mod, go dot mod, or what is it in Node? Package.json, is it? also created a Rust file, right? Source code file, right? In that .rs. I think that's basically it, right? When you create a new project, you have all this. This is basically the basic files that you have, right? So your cargo. Let's open this in VS Code. Let's split the screen. Right. I'll have my editor here on the right. Then the reference on the left, right? Do I need the 4K monitor, guys? I think it's too small. I'm finding a reason to buy one. All right. Oh, not this VS Code. So let's try to see if we can find a plugin. So this one looks popular, right? So we have like syntax highlighting, right? There. Better, right? Right. Let's try to close some stuff. Make it bigger. Can I hide this thing? All right. So this is the hello world function, right? For Rust, right? So let's just go to learn here. Maybe the playground is useful. Yeah. So here I installed already. When you're using VS Code, right, you need to install this Rust Analyzer. I think. I did this earlier because I'm not sure if it's gonna require you to restart your machine. So while I'm streaming, right, it's not nice to. I cannot restart my laptop because I'm streaming, right? So I installed this Rust Analyzer. They say this is the best plugin, right? This is the best plugin for Rust if you're using Rust in VS Code. So it has almost a million downloads, right? It replaced this. Don't download this old one. There's an old plugin, right? It's already deprecated. This one. Don't install this, right? I think they deprecated this already, right? So don't install this plugin. Just install this Rust Analyzer, right? All right. So those are so that's VS Code, right? You can actually create uh Rust project, right? Using cargo, then just load it in VS Code, right? I haven't tried in creating a new Rust project here in VS Code, but that's how you do it, right? When you're doing it in VS Code, right? So now you have your, can put source, can put our code here, right? Then you can just run. So to run this, I think you go to the terminal, right? So create a new terminal, then you just is it cargo run? Let's say you can build, right? It's gonna build, right? So it compiles it to is it a binary? It's fun. Yeah, I think it saves it to target. Target. Yeah, somewhere here. I don't know how to read this target one. But it's gonna build, right? Maybe let's see how Rust builds. Rust cargo build. You can actually specify the name of the binary, right? Maybe you can do that. Cargo build this up. Cargo build. Let me minimize this guy first. Cargo build dash dash bin low Rust. That what does that mean? Cargo build. Oh, I don't understand yet. How does this work? Bins. Oh, here like this. Oh, it takes the name of the thing. I think it's related to this guy, right? This one. This name. All right. Okay. Let's try this out next time. The options that we have. All right. Where are we? Let's close this, guys. Learn. Okay. I think this is a good. Yeah. Let's try to go through the examples, right, and run it in our local. Oh, before we go into that, right, you can also use IntelliJ. IntelliJ Community Edition here. We can download IntelliJ Community Edition, right, and use Rust with it, right? So I've installed also IntelliJ here in my local machine. Then I've loaded this sample. Basically, right, this is the same. I just copied the files that was generated by Cargo New. I'm not sure yet how to actually create a new project, right, with Rust, because it's a bit not really tightly integrated, right? Because you just install a plugin here. So if you go to your preferences, right? Where's the plugins, right? Is it plugins here? Oh, here. So you look for Rust here, then install this guy, right? This guy. Install this Rust plugin in IntelliJ, so you can actually run your Rust application in IntelliJ. I like IntelliJ. We use it for I use Golang for Golang. it's really nice IDE, right? So it has a lot of tools, like if you want to connect to a database, for example, right? So here's the cargo, right? I think this guy, right? Cargo.toml, right? Yeah. So you can just click on this guy, right? And just run. Oh, this is the command, oh, see, bin. Oh, it's for running. All right. So hello Rust. Here it's nice, right? In VS Code, I think I haven't tried, but you cannot run it from here unless you create a configuration, run configuration. Let's try to see, Rust and friends. Does this work? I don't know. This one is popular. Does it support Rust? Rust, 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 Rust. There's no Rust, man. How about this guy? Let's see. 32,000 only. Maybe you try to run this. No? Let's install this plugin, right? And see. All right. Can we run our application now? All right. So it detected that. Oh, okay. So it's also using LLDB, right? So now I can run this thing, I think. Run and debug. It's a bit complicated in VS Code. I don't understand. So how do you run this guy? You should have like a shortcut here. What? Debug. Okay, let's see. Run, start debugging. Run, run without debugging. Oh, there. So you can run this now. So it installed the, see, now you see the hello world. But if you notice, right, the IntelliJ pretty straightforward. Everything already there. Just right click then run. That's it. Right. Can also debug for sure, right? So how do you declare a variable in Rust? That's a question, right? So here, let's try to get some variables here. Comments are also the same as any other language, right? So you have like the double slash, right? Mutable is true. Cannot change, right? Because it's not mutable, right? This guy. All right. So let's just try to see, right, if the debug works here in Goland, right? I Goland in. Oh, there's no breakpoint, man. What the heck? Doesn't support the breakpoint, is it? Run debug. I can add a breakpoint. Normally, just click on the left side. All right, never mind. Let's try the VS Code. Maybe the VS Code has like breakpoints here, like that, right? Let's try to copy all this, guys. I think that's tweet split the thing, right? Move to let's try a few first, right? Let's try to debug. There. Wow. So now VS Code is better because we're able to make it work in VS Code. So you can now debug, right? Step over, right? Then you see the values of this guy, right? Hmm, interesting. Not bad. The colors are also nice, right? In Goland, in IntelliJ, I'm not sure how you add a breakpoint here. But normally, right, in when I use Goland, right, you have it here on the left, right? So it's so easy. But this one is not natively supported, right? Rust. So I'm not sure. Maybe you need to configure something to have that breakpoint, right? Mm-mm. So for now, let's just use the VS Code since we have the breakpoints there, right? So let's just close this guy because it's gonna slow down our machine because it's Java based. All right. So let's use this VS Code. Let me try to move this guy to the right first. Let me make my screen bigger. All right. So we stop here. So it actually created a configuration, right? This run configuration where we are able to configure the debugging, right? So it uses LLDB also, right? Where did I see that earlier? Here, this one, right? It will create a launch.json, right, in your project. Then you'll able to. This one is automatically added, right? So you just click those stuff that it asks you to do, right? Mm-mm. Yes. Okay. Guys, if you want to comment, just comment. What do you think about Rust, right? Is it good or is it not good, right? Are you gonna try it soon or not gonna try it soon, right? So let us know. Entertain me, right? Is Rust going to replace Golang soon, right? Let's see. All right, let's copy this. Okay, let me minimize this thing again, right? So, all right, so we can see the documentation and the IDE, right? So let's just make this smaller. Anyway, this is more important, right? Maybe we can just remove the preview. This preview, right? Let's remove that guy. Okay. All right. Let's just hide this thing, right? So we focus on the code. So Rust primitives, right? So these are, I think, primitive types, right? In the language, right? So it says here that it supports signed integers, right? Then unsigned. Signed means that you can support positive and negative numbers. And unsigned is What's unsigned? Did I interchange it? Unsigned is no negative, I think, if I remember correctly. Floating point, if you want, right, if you want very high precision numbers, right, you use floating point. Characters also it supports. So one character is 4 bytes. Normally a character is 8 bytes, right? So did Rust optimize it to 4 bytes only? I don't know. Then Boolean, true or false, of course, right? We're not able to do our control structures without the Boolean, right? And the unit type, open and curly, open and close. What do you call this? Then it also supports arrays and tuples. So here are the variables that, yeah, it showed here, right? All the variables that it supports. So let's take a look at all this, right? All right. So first is the logical Boolean, right? So let's try to understand how they declare variables, right? How Rust. So many ads. I think we're gonna maybe we just go through the types now because I think later on, right, it's gonna show us the how you declare variables, right? So let's just assume that it's this is the variable name, right? For sure. Then this is the type. Then this colon, I don't understand why. I don't know. Maybe it's just a convention, right? That they put that colon there before the. I think the space matters also. Is it or no? Maybe not, right? All right. So we can run this guy. All right. So unlike Golang, right? It allows you to declare a variable even if it's not used. See, but it has a warning in VS Code, but it doesn't prevent you to compile your application, right? Because in Golang, right, you'll not be able to compile an application, your source code, right? If you declare a variable and you haven't used. So that's why the Golang code is actually cleaner, right? In a way, right? Because you don't have like variables that are not used. It prevents you to compile it. So there's no like uh, unused stuff in your code, right? So basically, they just listed all the primitive types here, right? So you have float, you have integer. So they don't have a. You have to specify the pointer size. Is this pointer size? So in Golang, right, you can actually just say var int, right? Var I int, right? Don't have to specify. So I think it's gonna resize it for you or something. But here you need to specify the actual size you want. For example, this one will not fit into an i8, for example. Assuming this is like, Mhm. Why not able to edit this thing? Oh. Look, guys, so I'm not able to edit this F64. Ah, this one is actually, you see in the code, right? It didn't say anything. It doesn't say which type is it. I mean, see, I think it derives it also. I don't know. Oh, is it here? Oh, it's here. So this is 5i32. So if you want to declare it like this, oh, I think it actually just, it has context also, right? It's like Golang also, right? It's gonna, you don't need to declare the type. It will actually just, use the type appropriate for the data that you put into the variable, right? Like that. So this one is just a guide by VS Code, which actually is confusing. Right? Okay, let me erase this. Okay, let's try to understand the thing. Also for my learning, no, I don't know how to read it. So this is, if you want to annotate, if you want to say that this logical variable is actually a Boolean, you can declare it like this, right? But you can also say that logical one equal to true, if I'm not mistaken, right? Then it will actually know that this guy is also a Boolean, right? Deriving it, right, from the data that you put in it, right? So it's gonna know it's actually a Boolean, right? So in contrast with Golang, right? Golang is like this, right? So var logical int, right? And you have like var. So what you do is you can actually assign it like a Boolean here, right? For example, or I think you can also do like var int like this, true, this, or you can just simply do compared to this guy, right? Which is actually just deriving it. You just say like this. Don't even need to say var like that in Golang, right? I think it's similar to Golang, right? So it will derive the. So this one is a type can also be inferred from context. So what does that mean? Type I64 is inferred from another line. I don't understand that. Type I64. What does MUT mean? Oh, you can also say if it's mutable or not. So it means that you can change the value of this guy. If you don't do that, even run it. Oh, it also complains. Huh? Oh, okay. So if you define it, if you say let, then the variable name, then you don't mut, right? So by default, right, variables in Rust is not mutable. Is it true? Are immutable. Oh, by default, variables are immutable. Meaning, immutable means you cannot change, right? So, storing values with variables, right? Yeah. Okay. That's interesting, right? All right. So by default, you cannot mutate the variable, right? Let's say you define let b bool equal to true. So I cannot even do this. Like I cannot change this to false, right? Okay. Sorry. You need the semicolon in Rust. In Go lang, you don't need the guy. That thing. Run. Start without debugging. So yeah, it's gonna complain, right? Because I'm mutating a not immutable variable. So if I say I want to mutate this guy, right? Right. P. Right. So run. All right. Oh. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to print a variable in Rust. Must be a string literal like this. Wow. It even told me what to do. Here, oh, see? Maybe we just try to run this again. Wow. Why is there an percent sign here? I think it's this one. Just the prompt, right? Wow. It even told me what I need to do, right? Because I made a mistake, right? Run without debugging. See here, guys. It's gonna say compiling format argument must be a string literal. Help. You might be missing a string literal to format with. Wow. It's very cool. Is it? Did you see that? That's cool. So it guides you, no? It gives you like a tip, right? True or false. Okay. Okay. That's good. So let's go through this. Okay. Where's the variable thing? I want to go through that variables first. Right? Where's that? Uh, the comments, we already saw this, right? Then, okay, let's try to go through this, right? Because we had that issue earlier, right? That how do you print, right? How do you print stuff, right? In Rust. I mean, print in the terminal, right? So there are several options, right? So printing is handled by a series of macros defined in this package, I think. Format, right? Formatted text to string. Print, same as format, but the text is printed to the console. Okay. So print line, same as print, but a new line is appended. E-print, same as print, but the text is printed to the standard error output. Same as e-print, new line is appended. All right. All right. So this is the interesting stuff that we can do, right? So let's try to just copy this tree. So it's not, let's just try to copy one first so it's not confusing. In general, this curly braces, right? Open and close curly braces will automatically will replaced with any arguments. Will be stringified. Oh, in a, let's say, I don't know, does this work? Oh, that's cool. Hi, welcome to the stream. So you can replace, this one is like, if you want to put, if you're creating a printing a string, right? And you want to output it into the terminal, right? Or the console, right? You just do this print line, right? If you want to use it as a variable, right? Let's say, uh, how do you declare again? Let is string equal to same guy, right? Let's use this format one, right? So format always means the semicolon. So we can now print this guy, right? Let's print this guy. Yes. Oh, okay. You'll still need this if you want to print a string like this, right? So let's comment this first, right? So this means that you want to store this formatting, right, in a string. This one is like your printf in Golang, right? S printf. So you run this thing. So now you're gonna, yeah, just print it like that. This is when you're like playing around with some text, right? You want to build the text first before you do anything with it, right? You just put it in a variable first, right? Mm-mm. All right. So the others are just, the other variants, right? You can just, so this one, for example, you don't want a new line, right? Uh, let's try to put two strings, right? Say, a. This one will be after a new line, right? So then you just do print line, and you do, okay. So if you do print only, and you put the A here, right? This one will not go into a new line, I think. Oh, oh, there. So if you want a new line, just put a print line here. Oh, it should be here. Is it? Ah, okay, okay. ePrint. What's that ePrint line mean? Same as print, but a new line is appended. Ah, okay. So when you do print line here, what the heck? What is this tooltip, man? Annoying, ah. When you do a new line here, right, it will actually add annoy. It will actually add a new line after this line, right? So because it says same as print, but a new line is appended, right? So after printing this first string, right, it's gonna, this tooltip is annoying actually. Like that. See, I don't even have to put a new line here in this guy. All right. So that's how you do parameterized printing, right, to the console sample. All right. Welcome to the stream, guys. I guess Rust is not that very popular, is it? Let's see. Maybe people will watch this after a few years. I don't know. All right. So we're done with this print line thing, right? Debug. All types which want to use standard formatting traits require implementation to be printable. Oh, this means that when you want to have a string representation of your struct or variable, right? You can actually use this. Months in a year. All right. Okay. I think this one are advanced stuff, right? Let's do that later. All right. Let's take a look at the custom types, right? Very interesting. I like this. So let's say we want a struct or an enumeration, right? So there are three types of structures that can be created using the struct keyword, right? Tuple structs, which are basically named tuples. The classic C structs, unit structs, which are fieldless or are useful for generics. Okay, so now let's try to create a struct. I guess you need to declare this outside of the main function. And we try to use this guy. Struct person is never constructed. Warn dead code on by default. What does this mean? Oh, we need to allow this. Is it? Means that I think we haven't used it, right? All right. And this derived debug, I don't know if we need this, right? Let's not use it for now. Let's try to use this struct here in the main function. Right, so what it did, right, is let name string from Peter. Why did he needed to use this, right? Don't he just say like Peter like this? Will that work also? Yeah, there's some creating a new string from the string Peter. String type. Then age. I don't want Mel. I want Melvin, my name, right? Oh, because it's a string object. That's why, right? So Let me put that back, right? So it's complaining right now. How do you clear declare a struct, right? So you just say struct person. You don't even say type. In Golang, it's like this. Type person struct like this. But this guy is this is similar to Golang. It's the same thing, right? So the variable, the field name, then the type. But without this, I think that anyway, we're not doing Golang, right? All right. So now we can print this struct, right? Because the person is me, right? So now you need to use this guy, derive debug. So that's the purpose. So if you don't put that, person doesn't implement debug, the trait debug is not implemented for person. So you cannot actually print that struct, right? So now that's why we need that line of code there, right? So now we can use this print line. So why do you need this? Don't you, can you just not do this? Oh, needed to do that. So there's a different convention, right? If you use this derive debug, right? Print line. Okay. Now we can run the thing. I think I can do shift F5, is it? But my keyboard don't have F5. Hello guys, welcome to the stream. All right. So let's run this guy. Run without debugging. All right. Now we can actually see our struct, right? So if you add another field here, like, you know, address, right? See, this is also a string, right? So why is it complaining? Oh, can I put, okay, so let's create a new variable called address. Let's say it's a string from Singapore. From Singapore, guys. And here you say address, right? Then I should actually see that new field, right? All right. But there's something interesting that you saw, right? Let's say I create an instance of the person, right? It doesn't allow me to create a person, right, without an address, right? So how do you now see, what if the address is not there, right? How do you work around? There's no null, right, in Rust. Just Google new new struct Rust field. Hmm. Struct user active bool. email string. So see, but he actually put some value, right? But sometimes, right, when you're coding, sometimes this one is not yet available, right? For example, you want to retrieve this from a database, for example, right? And you want to attach that address, for example, at a later point, right, in your program. But you want to already create a person, for example, right? How do you do that in Rust? Or maybe if you put a mutate here, right? Is it all missing structure fields? How do you now say, right, that I don't want to set the address first, right? Do you like just create a variable that will be a placeholder first? Okay, so what this is saying, right? If you want your struct to be mutable, right? You cannot say that I don't want the name to be mutable. I immutable. So it will actually make your whole struct mutable if you declare like this. Shows a build user function that returns a user instance with a given email and username. Interesting. Creating instances from other instances with struct update syntax. Oh, it's like merging, is it? Let's try this. Where's the user one? This one. We need the user struct somewhere, right? Let's remove this code. Also allow the drive debug thing, right? Create a new user, user one with type user, right? Which is that struct above here, right? Then populate it with some data, right? Then this one is like a okay. Let's try this. User one. What does this mean, right? So let's try to print this guy. How did we print earlier? Print line. Remember, guys. Did like this. Hmm. Where's that? This one colon like this. These are the nuances of There's a bit so many like use semicolon colon, not semicolon colon like that. All right. So now we have that right. So let's see how does this behave, right? So will this have this email then all the other fields here, right? So it got this username here. Then it replaced the email, right? But it also got the other fields, right? This active true and sign in count one from that original struct, from this one, right? Interesting. You like it? I think Golang has something similar also, right? Embedding the one struct to another struct like that. Then it will inherit all the fields from that struct. But I'm not sure on. But that one is declaration. This one is usage, right? Interesting, guys. Okay, let's try to see this function, right? So in Rust, it looks like that function is declared as fn, right? So you say fn, then the function name, then the variable, then the data type, right? Then this one is the return, I think, the return. So you don't even need to declare it, right? So it just creates a new user here. Then it will auto, you don't need to say return here or something. Maybe you can also do, right? But so let's try to email username. So let's try to use this user tree uh, user equal to build user Melvin. Let's say don't be to codes. Say don't be to codes at s.com, right? And don't be to codes. And don't forget the semicolon, right? This is not colon, guys. This is a string, right? So you need to create a string from. Oh, did I even memorize that already? String from. We also do string from here because it's a string object, right? String. From. All right. Did that work? I need another close. All right. So user tree. Now let's print our new user tree, right? Let's print this user tree. User tree here. All right. So that's my user tree now. So that's how you create a function. No? Interesting, no? You don't need actually to put this. You just derive it, right? You don't need to put, yeah. You don't need to put the return here. So it will just, match it or something, right? Then it will just return this guy. All right, interesting stuff. Bro, those are structs, no? So structs are like objects, right? If you need placeholders for your data, right? If you're doing your app, you're creating your application, right? Of course, you need to store data in some structured format, right? Like a placeholder, like an object in Java, a class, right? Yeah. All right. What's next? Oh, you can run hero. See? Wow. How do they even do that? Oh, you can see the entire thing. It's cool, huh? Like inline running of your code, right? That's cool. All right. Are you still there, guys, or are you sleepy? Let me know. All right. So what's next? Uh, Functions, data types, tuple. Okay, let's go to the functions, right, in Rust, right? Okay. Before I go into that, I just need to take a break, quick break, right? I just go to the washroom, right? Give me like 2 minutes, right, guys? I'll be back. Don't leave me, yeah. Let's go. Right. I'm back. Thank you for staying with me, guys. By the way, I'm also live in LinkedIn and Facebook, right? You can like my profile, follow me in LinkedIn also. LinkedIn is just a bit delayed actually, right? By, I don't know, 10 seconds. Uh, yeah. All right, let's continue. Functions, right? So let's erase all our stuff here. So Rust code uses snake case as conventional style for function and variable names in which all letters are lowercase and underscore separate words. So this is a bit interesting, right? Because normally, right, in Java, even in Golang, right, uh, we normally use, I don't know if other Golang developers actually use snake case, but we use like camel case, like this, right? Even the variables are like this, I mean, this a person, for example, right? So these are like the convention, right? So in Rust, you need to use snake case, right? In contrast to Golang and other languages, right? I'm not sure. Maybe some Golang developers also use snake case, right? So it's actually not a there's no right or wrong, right? As long as you're comfortable reading your code, right? It doesn't really matter what you use. even in API responses, right? They say camel case is better or snake case, but it's really the standard. If you want to use snake case, you use snake case all throughout, right? If you use camel case, you use camel case all throughout, right? So you don't use like interchangeable. So like for example, your services, right? You make it a standard, so it's not like shouldn't mix actually. Just choose one, then implement those. That implementation, right? So these are it's easily understood, right? So you declare a function by saying fn, then the function name, then let's say function convert number to string. So this is how you write the thing, right? Then you return a what is the convention right that in 64 is it? It's a string. So your input will be so how do you do your input in okay, so now like this, right? So like this x so let's just delete this. Let's just call this convert function. And you say let's say let x is right 32 equals to 100, right? Doesn't allow it mismatch types. Let's declare this as I32. Okay. When you have a let s string equal to like this, right? When you return string here, so this one will be uh let's say return this guy, right? What did we learn earlier? What is it? Print. We need to put the X here, right? Hit E print. Hold on, let's try to see. Can't remember the previous code that we did. Okay. Print line. Print. Format is that. All right. Oh, you can do that, huh? So let's run this first. All right. Then we print this as it. This works, is it? This went from this, right? So you say run. All right. So meaning that you can actually put your X here, right? No need to put it here. It will actually know that this is the guy that you want to inject here, right? The variable name. Let's say if you say Y here, right? You need to make this Y, right? All right, that works. So another alternative is to use that. Otherwise, you just Value of y is y here. Okay. So that's an alternative. So there are two ways of printing it out, right? So x here like that. Hmm, right. Cool. Wow. Different ways to do it. Right. That's cool. All right. That's function. Where's the function thing? Okay. Let's finish this function first, then we go to the this storing values with variables. Sorry, we're a bit jumping, right? But yeah, we just go through the flow of what we see, right? Statements and expressions, right? Statements do not return values. Therefore, you can't assign a let statement to another variable. So you cannot do this. Welcome to the stream. Hi. Hi from those watching in Twitch. You can follow me, guys. We're doing Rust today. We have 3 viewers in Twitch and I think 3 viewers in LinkedIn also. Welcome, guys. I don't know the Facebook one, so just ping me if you want to make a shout out. So we have 2 viewers in LinkedIn, then 3 in Twitch, right? For those in LinkedIn, can you follow me in Twitch? If it's not a big deal for you guys. Anyway, I'll try to stream in LinkedIn also. My multi-stream works, right? So you don't have to worry. You can just follow me in LinkedIn also, right? Cool. So functions with return values, right? So let's say, let's look at this because, okay. So you see, right, this is very interesting, right? Uh, see, right, function plus one, right? Did you see that there's no return statement here? So I think this you can actually just omit also. Oh, no. But why, what's the difference between this guy? All right, never mind. I figure out, right? Because this one will return a string anyway, right? But it doesn't really derive it, right? But this guy, right, you see, oh, there's an error. Like this, I think. It should be like this, is it? Oh, this one is not allowed. So it doesn't work also. We should explicitly say, let's say, let x, let y be I32. It like this. Return. I don't know. Return y. All right. So you can still specify this return. What if I don't put this guy, right? Doesn't know. There's some instances that it understands it, right? Maybe that's something that we can actually research on, right? So now if you use this plus one here, right? Right. So sorry guys, I miss my semicolon every time because in Golang there's no semicolon. So then you can just say print the value of x like this. But I declare this again, right? So let's not use this. Oh yeah, it's here. So did it just declare another variable with the same name? Let's see if this will throw an error or something. No. So it just creates another variable. It overrides this guy. Interesting. So I don't know how this works, right? Because this one is declared. Normally, right, in let's say I can compare to Golang because I use Golang. You declare this, but you cannot declare another variable with the same name. Apparently in Rust you can actually do it. So I don't know the reason for that, right? Mm, cool. So now we know how to call a function. So we created a function plus one. We say that let's say let's put two parameters here, right? So y 32 also, right? Say let's do x plus y, and this will be z, right? Z, and z, right? So now this one will be an error, right? Because let's declare another y, another variable called y. This will be z. This will be z. This will be, let's just use one on the top. Y. This one is 700, for example, or 600. And y. So our output should be 100 plus 600 is 700, right? Hmm. All right. Cool. You haven't seen, right? If you haven't seen the debugging, I actually can debug here in VS Code. Very cool, right? So you can just run debug here, run, start debugging, right? And you can do step by step what? See? You can see the value of, you know, of X here on the left, right? You can see here right in the left, there's a value. So you go through Z, then you see the Z also here in the left, right? Very cool. All right. Maybe I can try to do Golang also using VS Code, right? Because it's free. The Golang is not free, so it might be a troublesome for those who cannot afford or don't want to use Golang, right? Anyway, we're doing Rust now. We're not doing Golang. So I'm just showing you how to actually debug, right, using a VS Code, right? Hmm. Then we're done, right? So you can stop your thing. All right, that's cool. Going back to our tutorial. Let me minimize this guy. How can I minimize? I was able to do that earlier. Drag the thing. Bugger. All right. How do you do it? There is it. Oh, there's the toggle, man. All right, now I know. All right, that's cool. All right. Uh, so those are functions, right? So basically, fn function name in snake case, right? Then the variables, the parameters, right? X and Y with the data types, right? So you declare a variable name, then colon, then a data type here, right? This one, I wonder you can do name. Oh, cannot do. Golang can do that, right? Name return parameters, right? All right. All right. Let's take a look at this storing variables. I think already did this right earlier. So the only thing that is, need to remember, right, is you want your variable to be mutable, right? You need to put the mut keyword here. Mutable means you can change. If it's immutable, you cannot change the variable, right? So if you have three variables, for example, here, like for example, like you have, say this let apples is equal to 5, then you want to mutate this to make it 6, for example, right? You cannot actually do that, right? Because it's not mutable, right? You can, for mutable variables, you can only assign an initial value to it and you cannot change, right? You cannot mutate. You know, mutate, right? Is mutate means change, right? So if you want to mutate apples, right, you need to put the mut keyword there, right? So you can mutate. So that's very nice, right? By default, variables that are created in Rust are actually not mutable, meaning you cannot change, right? Because there's so many issues, right, in different languages when you are mutating variables, right? So especially in JavaScript, I think. I think in JavaScript you can actually just mute, you know, because your variables are passed around, right? You can mutate it anywhere in the application, right? So you have to be careful with that, right? So imagine you take, let's say this is let's say uh records from the database, right? Right. So you just do a, like, maybe these are like say a bunch of strings, right? I don't know how do you declare a slice. Let's say this is a record from a database, right? Let's say it's a string, right? Then you do your, get from DB, for example, right? Function, right? Say like that. Imagine this guy, right? You can actually you cannot easily mutate this guy, right? You just use it along the way, right? So meaning, right? If you want to, you're conscious, right? That if you want to let others use that variable, or you can use yourself, right? You just put a mut here. Otherwise, by default, right? If the one using your variable, right, uses your variable, right, he knows that it's not cannot change, right? So he needs to go to this definition, right, to, or this declaration to actually mutate it, right? But maybe you have some tests, right, to actually prevent it to be mutated. You can put a unit test that will check if this is actually changed. It will break your unit test if you don't want this variable to be mutated, right? Like it's your standard, for example, right? When you're getting records from a database. Otherwise, you can just copy the data from this to another variable, right? Then he can mutate that variable, right? So it means that you can still keep the integrity of the original data that was retrieved from the database, right? Just a simple example. All right. What else do we need to do? Okay. Receiving user input, right? So this means that if you want your application to receive user input, you can actually do this, right? Maybe we can try this on a later episode. There's some safety features actually, right? Handling potential failure with the result type. We're working on this line of code. We're now discussing a third line of text. I'll try to read this in detail, so I'll be able to explain it on the next episode, I think. Right. But I think we got the basics today, right? Like how to create an application, right, in Rust, right? Using functions, using declaring variables. We also saw some data types also earlier, right? How to use. We also saw this, cool, nifty feature of the print, right? Different variants. Right? All right. Structures. We saw also structs, right? Earlier. Can use structs. I think it's pretty okay. The last time I saw this Rust, right, I was pretty confused with the syntax, but I guess while you're trying it, right, it actually gets better, right? Because I was just reading it before, but looks like it's uh not straightforward because I come from a different language, but it's easy to understand also, right? Maybe there's uh some things that you're used to, like not putting the semicolon, right? Right. Those are the things that you need to, when you're in Rust context, right? You cannot bring your Golang context like that. Yeah. Okay. So I'll try to go through like the, some features like so. Yeah, maybe that's it for the coding part today, right? I think I will try to see how we can connect, like for example, an Rust application to a database, right? Maybe I can set up a database, then we can connect, right? Maybe create an API, right? So let's say create an API using Rust. Hero. Let's see if they have some source code here. We haven't really seen how to use a package, right? Because we're using like standard library today. So Rust import package like this, is it? It's like this. So use diesel. So this, I think diesel is like the namespace, right, for the library. Then you can just see. Oh, like this. So this is how you use that. So they have a vector also, is it? Oh, so this is the library, right? They're using for Rust. They can just. It's very easy to use. Order, load, expect. No, I think this is like your catch or something. So I'll try to paste this in the. You'll not be able to execute this, but for reference purposes, right? So new file db.rs. Right, right. So let's just copy it here. Let's try to see, right, how is it coded. So I think this is how you define your endpoint, right? Thus this is your slash users endpoint for your API. Then it returns application JSON. Then get all. This is your connection to the DB. So it actually passes the connection and oh, it's a strange way of using it, right? See? Get all users. Where's the get all users? See? He passes the connection. Then instead of calling the connection, then that get data, right? He actually a very different way, all users that order. So see, he passes the connection to the load. This one is what? Is this a function here? Oh, there, as all users. PSL. Oh, so there's some ORM or something, right? That is happening. If I am not wrong. See, but interesting, you see, this one, right? Very easy to define an API. What does pub mean? Is this public or what? Pub Rust. Hmm. Visibility and privacy. Makes an item visible within the provided path. Path must be an ancestor module of the item whose visibility is declared. So it's probably related to exposing the function to outside, is it? But how does it start the endpoint, right? How does it create the, you know, like run the HTTP server? Hmm. Oh, let's try to copy the entire thing. This is the entire application. Oh, they're using Rocket or something. Oh, this is the route, see? Wow, so nice. Rocket Rust. Oh, this is what they use, guys. So they're using Rocket Web Framework to bootstrap the API. See here, oh. So it's like your Spring Boot, or in Golang we have like Jinjonic, like that. So you can actually just create a API right out of it using this library. Wow. Let me try this. So nice. Oh, I think we can try this now. Right? So okay, hello world, right? Let's try to see if we can run this thing. Anyway, it's a simple one, right? Getting started. To install the latest version of Rust. Anyway, we already have that, right? Cargo new, Rocket. Dependency. So we need to add this dependency right in our here. Right? Then and just copy this main.rs. Let me just rename this guy, so we don't lose the code. Mm-hmm. New file. Right. Right. So I guess we have to have a main method here, right? I wonder the namespace will be affected. Let's try to rename this with something else. Rename. Where's the rename? That rs1. It will not gonna recognize it anymore. So let's also just delete this tbrs. Don't need this guy. So main, and we just do rocket.launch here, is it? Mm, modify so that it contains the code for the rocket hello world program reproduced below. All right. But how do I call that guy, right? Oh, does it automatically run? You don't need the main, is it? Run. Is it blocking? All right. Wow. What's that? Address already in use. Wow. We're able to run it, guys. Okay. I think we need to specify the port, right? I think we're running something in port 8000, right? So let's try to see, right? Rocket run using different port. So let's see how to run it with a different port. So it also has some. Should we just copy this guy, right? And TOM, cargo.tml, is it? Rocket.toml. So we create a new file here, which is rocket.toml, right? Then we configure this guy here. Let's say this is 8080, right? Then we run this guy. Is it? The heck? Okay, let's try to remove this because it's no need to use this guy. Wow. So we now have our server here. So we exposed a index which is slash, right? So let's go to this. Mm, let's go to this to the browser, right? Wow. So we're able to run a web server, right? So let's say to see is to believe, right? So let's just change the text. Hello Rust API, right? When we run, we don't even need the main method, right? So we run this, run without debugging, then just refresh. Wow. So it's even easier than Golang, guys, if you're using Rocket. So you see, it's very easy, right? We were able to run an API server, right? Of course, we use Rocket, right? It's a library for this guy. So we use this guy to run an API. So now we know how to run an API, right? Using Rust. Wow, very cool. Huh? So now if you want to, like, for example, call your database or whatever, let's put another endpoint, right? Which is called about me. About, let's say, right? Another thing called about. So call this about. So say we want to output some HTML, right? Let's say strong. Let's not make it proper HTML. So for demonstration purposes, I am on B2 codes. Please follow me in Twitch, right? Let's say I put my Twitch thing here, right? So let's put the so you could put an href here, right? Maybe we just put href here. Then just close the href, right? A, right? Is this all right? And what is it not complaining? About is never used. So routes. So need to put about here, right? Is it that right? So now we're able to use it now, right? So you just configure the routes here, right? You tell which routes you want to expose, right? In the API, right? Then it's gonna mount it probably in the bootstrapping, right, of the API server. So we stop debugging. So let's just run it normally, right? Run without debugging, right? So now we have a new endpoint, right, called about, right, instead of the slash only here, right? So if you notice, we can actually just access this. This one is synonymous to localhost also. We can do localhost since it's looping back to localhost, right? Oh, I think it's wrong spelling, right? Is it 8080? Oh, is it not binding? Why? Did I throw an error or something? Oh, 8000, is it? Sorry. So then you have about here. Oh, it didn't. Okay. So I think it's not. Maybe we need to. Okay. I think we need to. So this one is rendered as a string, right? So what we need to do is actually just have it return as HTML. So I don't know. We need to encode it or something. Yeah. So anyway, so the idea, right? You can actually spit out HTML here, and it's gonna render with that bold, right? So let's see. Maybe we can fix that. Interesting. Request responses, right? Let's look at the responses. Responses. Response as HTML. Okay. Content. Oh, like this. Is it? So we need to import this guy. Where do you put that? Oops. Is it here? You put the use, man. Don't know. Let's just try this. Public struct HTML. Maybe you can just put HTML there, right? Here, like this. It's gonna convert this thing, right? Oh, we need to put this import somewhere, right? This guy, right? Maybe it should be at the top. How do you? Welcome to the stream, guys. We're trying to create an API. So let's see, just let's read a bit. Import rocket. Import rock responses. Hero, they do this like this, right? Just above, right? This should work, right? Did we miss it in the... But we already imported this guy, right? So this should actually work, right? Because we need to have this HTML, we can use it, right? But it's complaining, right? Where do you put this use, man? Sample rocket HTML output. All right, let's take a look at this guy, man. Oh, it should be after. Oh wait. Try this, huh? Cannot import, eh? Why? Why? Follow the thing, what? Because you have the entire code in GitHub or something. Hmm. Maybe I need to include this, is it? Uh, handlebars. Should we try this? Let's try this guy. So we need to add it here, right? And so now we can actually put HTML, right? Hmm. Oh, now it. Oh, we needed to add a dependency, right? It's not in the main rocket dependency. So run without debugging. Let's see if it works. What happened? There's an error. Wow, there's something wrong. Sorry, guys. Need to understand this more, right? All right. At least you're able to, uh, create an API, right? Although it's not rendering HTML right now. This is actually good enough if you're using like, Postman, right? Can even say it's JSON, right? I think. Yeah, pretty straightforward. It's like Gorilla Mux. Yeah, here. Oh, you can also do this, right? Nest the mount, right? So instead of doing this, Can do another dot mount here. Mount. Let's say about. Oh, I think this one. I don't know. How does this work? Maybe this will affect the routes. Oh, so now it's not able to compile. Let's just try to remove this guy. Hmm? Oh, okay. So it's not running on that port. There's something wrong with the binding, right? So it's another port. For some reason. Oh, it's. I think it's because of this. Rocket 88. Okay, run, 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 run. All right. Oh, it's different. So this routes behaves differently, right? So yeah. So I'm not sure. I don't understand yet, right? How what's the difference? But actually different when you mount it again, right? Compared to like having it mounted into this main path, for example, right? So now you can run this without debugging. There, there. So then you have your root there. So this behaves differently if you do a dot mount again separately. All right, that's it for the coding part, right? So I think as a closing, maybe we take a look at, are there any Rust jobs out there that we can see? Rust jobs. These are crypto. There's some Rust in Singapore, right? At least some opportunities. Golang/Rust. See. I think they just mentioned Rust for the sake of mentioning it, right? Then when you go there, you do Java. Is that it, right? See, they're trying to just probably get that keyword right. Golang, Rust, Python, right? Sometimes it's not good unless you would really use Rust. Right? Maybe blockchain, yeah. Maybe you can actually use Rust. Where is it? Wow, interesting. Let me save this thing. Yeah, so guys, there's a few opportunities, but not a lot, right? Compared to Golang, for example. Java. Golang is 567, Rust is 193. So it's like one third, right, of the opportunities. Cool. So what do you think, guys, of Rust? Are we gonna use this in our next API? I'll try to see if I can create a project based on Rust. Interesting language. For those who haven't really, followed the stream, I'm gonna upload this in YouTube anyway, right? And you can see the replay there. Today I streamed in YouTube, in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch, right? So we have few viewers in LinkedIn and Twitch. So yeah, thank you very much for the. But it's a bit quiet, no? Nobody commenting about Trust. I don't know. Maybe it's because you don't like Rust, is it? Yeah, so I think Rust will be there for some time, right? So let's see. Maybe it's time to learn a new language, right? You can follow me in LinkedIn also. I'm in LinkedIn, right? I'm gonna stream in LinkedIn if you don't want to follow me in Twitch. You can follow my profile. LinkedIn, you can already follow me if you even if you don't connect to me. I don't mind you connecting to me also. It's okay, right? I can just add you. So yeah, you can follow my profile. You so when I go live, right? I think you get notified or something. I don't know if you get notified earlier, right? But you know, just see, follow my profile. All right. So I think that's it, guys. Right? Thank you for watching my stream. I'm gonna post the video in YouTube. I did a lot of stuff today. Hello world, right? We went through some variables. We went through how to create a function. We even created an API just by luck, right? We saw this rocket framework, right? We're able to create a quick API using Rust. So here, right? If you look at the code, right, it's very simple. Let me close. See, this is the code, the entire code of the this application, right? So I created a, you know, here this API. Can I put about also? But this one doesn't render HTML, so I have to figure that out. I was thinking I need to render it as HTML. Maybe there's some encoding that needs to be done. But anyway, this is the code. You're right. I'm gonna upload this. I don't know. Oo nga na, pa-out na. Pero, yeah. Just watch the replay. Watch the replay, guys. Welcome to the stream. Don't worry, everything is in YouTube, right? You can follow this is a new language, right? Trust language. Pwede nyo sundan yan. So ito yung ginawa, this is what we did today. So we tried this new, not really new language, right? Then we tried to create something out of it, like hello world, So simple stuff, right? So we can learn. So you can follow this. There's like a new, go to our website, trust-lang.org. You can see they have playground, they have, these tools, right? You can see which tools you can use, right? You have Vim, you have VS Code. I used VS Code and IntelliJ today. So I used that this one, right? Oh, not Golan, man. I used IntelliJ to rust the lang code, rust lang code. But I like the VS Code better because it's able to give, let me add breakpoints, right? Parang ganyan. So you can debug, di ba? So you can see yung mga variables, right? Hmm. And watch, ganyan. All right. I think that's it for today. No, maraming salamat for watching. For those who are in LinkedIn, right? I'm about to stop the stream already, but feel free to follow me in LinkedIn, right? And I'll post the YouTube video of this. I don't know if LinkedIn will save the video, but I'm gonna post the YouTube video in my profile. You can see how Rust is like. I did like a basic stuff, but although basic, we're able to run an API using the Rocket framework. Yeah, in Rust. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next stream. I'm trying to get people who I can talk to. Uh, about remote work and about, let's say, startups, right? So, but the people I talk to are still busy. So we might need to do just this type of videos for now if we don't have guests, right? Uh, some coding stuff. At least we can learn. I also learn. It's my first time to do Rust also, so I learn also from this session. Hopefully, you can follow me in Twitch. Uh, Twitch.tv/Don Vito Codes. Right. Let me put my Twitch here. Yeah, there. You can copy and paste this. I don't know. I don't think you can copy and paste. Just type Don Vito Codes in Twitch. I'm everywhere. I have YouTube also. Just Google Don Vito Codes YouTube or Facebook. You can see the Facebook and the everything, right? I'm in different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, it's just my profile, then Twitch, then YouTube. YouTube, you can follow me here, right? YouTube.com. I have all, the other episodes here. It's all the episodes that I did, right? I just upload it here. You can watch the entire thing or you can forward, right? I haven't had time to cut the session in pieces, right? So, but yeah, when I have time, I'll try to digest, come up with like a short summary, right? But the entire video is there available for you guys. Mm. All right. Thank you. That's it, guys. I'm gonna end the stream. I'll see you soon. I'll just play a bit of music before we go. Thank you for watching, Nep. Is it time for games? Bago yung Rust, no? I mean, bago, upcoming. Yan. All right. Really appreciate you staying with me for I think 2.5 hours, no? Maraming salamat. I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to follow me in Twitch. Also in Facebook. Ito yung Facebook. youtube.com/donvitocoach. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a great Sunday. Have a nice week ahead. Salamat. Bye.